Hey everybody, this is Rice Bonds, Montana DeYoung, back here with you for the first time in way too long. I've been taking a couple of months off from the hobby, just really haven't been paying much attention to the daily happenings in baseball cards and sports cards and in 90s cards and Barry Bonds cards. Just had a lot of other life priorities come up that squeezed time and energy out of what I could normally spend on cards. Obviously, there was some crazy drama that went down at the end of last year too, with a deal gone bad. I'll have to tell you guys how that ultimately resolved, which it did earlier this week. But the reason I'm on with you guys today is because I have a card that I'm really, really excited about getting. So I had been sort of trickling back into the hobby and I've been picking up, the occasional card here or there just that popped up in the Facebook group. I don't even really know what these are. I haven't done the research ahead of time, but these two cards came in. The one was sold by Ryan Statler, the very well respected Will Clark collector. He had this whole set of sort of hole punched redeemed Gold Rush cards from Score. What year is that? Score 95. It's foil on the front. It's supposed to be pretty difficult to find, especially one that's hole punched all the way through like that. I have to do a little bit more research about exactly what this card is and why it's cool, but I know I've seen it before, and I thought it was always neat to have the pinnacle insignia sort of I don't know, hole punched through the card to indicate that it had been redeemed. So that was a nice pickup. I haven't even archived it or scanned it or anything like that. It's just been sort of sitting there, just to give you an idea of what kind of got me back into the swing of things. And then Brad Fassett in the group also came up with, I guess, a huge set of cards with all the players in this set. Um, I don't think I really even know what this is, but it's clearly, what is it? The statistical standouts? What is that? What does that say? God. Statistical standouts. Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, I just thought it was cool. It's in the shape of a glove. Um, for any of you who collected in the 90s, the die cut glove shape is just etched into your mind for forever. Ever since the, I can't remember if it was 94 or 95 Flare, where the hot gloves came out, sort of die cut in orange and beautiful. So this card I always figured would fold out, but I think um, it's actually glued on. So I don't know actually what's under what's under the pocket, I guess, of this glove. I don't know if there's anything, or if the design always was that part of his picture was supposed to be obscured by the thumb part of the glove. So I thought that was pretty cool. Like serial numbered. It seemed like there was a lot of energy around it in the group, and I just figured I'd pick it up. I haven't really taken it out to play with it much, and I haven't really, like I said, scanned any of this stuff and archived it. But that kind of led me to getting back into the swing of things. I kind of got a little ahead of myself and bought some cards that I kind of regret buying now, just because I was a little bit bored and eager to sort of get back into it. Sometimes you've just been away for too long and you're just like, you just want to get back in and just get something, anything. So that's, not very fruitful. Usually you end up buying some things that you regret for prices that you regret. That was certainly the case, but as soon as I started paying attention, some crazy things came through that actually were highly, highly coveted by me. And one of those items is in my hand right now. I've had 6 or 7 packages come in the last couple of days or weeks, and I just haven't had time to open any of them. But today, this one card came in the mail among several, and I decided that it was worth setting up this video to open this in front of everybody and hopefully be happily surprised by the card inside and how much I like it. Just a backdrop is usually thematic, and for me, I'm focused on the 1990s. You guys know that, but obviously Bonds' career was spectacular all the way through the mid 2000s when he finally retired in 2007. I'm still only interested in his playing day cards, so I'm not interested in anything after 2007. But I don't really know too much about cards that were released after the year 2000. It's just not my wheelhouse. I'm under prepared for cards generally in that genre in that time period. There are beautiful cards though from that time period. In fact, if you want one of these huge, flowy, super legible Barry Bonds autographs, you're gonna have to get them from the year 2005-ish on. And so my first fancy Barry Bonds autograph was from the 2006 Topps Finest set. This is an insert set dedicated especially to Barry Bonds to commemorate some of his finest moments. A good friend of mine who collects Tim Salmon and Frank Thomas once showed me a card from Worth Point that was a autograph out of two, a gold refractor autograph from this set where Bonds was in mid power swing, and it was the sweetest card ever. And he, who's not a Bonds fan, said that he would love that Barry Bonds card, and I couldn't agree with him more. So I've been looking for that card for a long time. I found the next best thing. This commemorative insert set commemorates several accomplishments in Bonds' career. I just think, as I've said before in a previous video, that this is maybe the coolest, or at least the most unique picture from that insert set. You have Bonds in a dead run, and it recognizes one of my very favorite accomplishments of his, which is that he was the first 40-40 guy in the National League and the second in baseball history after Jose Canseco. It's just a beautiful card. I typically don't like landscape cards, but in this specific situation, this is actually much preferred to a portrait styled card. And just because I think the autograph style is so cool, I picked up another one, kind of on a lark, kind of as a reaction, without even knowing it, to having seen one of my friends, Nate's Bonds autograph collection, and I guess I just forgot that he showed off this card, and I guess it always stayed in my mind as an awesome card. And I'm not a fan of sticker autos, but I still went out and got that card anyway, just because it's a card that sort of stuck in my mind as being beautiful, uncommonly beautiful, and also displaying a beautiful example of what this era of Barry Bonds autographs look like. So, not really sure. I know that I'm keeping this one. Obviously, you can already see that it's in a semi-rigid. I'd like to send it out to CSG with a lot of my other high-end Bonds cards that are deep in my personal collection, just to get them slabbed and protected by a company that I respect. I don't plan to sell any of these cards. Otherwise, I would submit them with PSA. I just want them slabbed and to be able to appreciate them. In a more safe sort of case than magnetics, which can come apart, and in plastic that is, for my money, clearer than any other storage plastic anywhere in the market. That includes all the grading company slabs. That includes BCW and Ultra Pro and everything in between. It includes top loaders and penny sleeves. So CSG is the plan. I have them all packed up, but still haven't sent it out. So long story short, or long story long, this card popped up in the Barry Bonds group a couple of days ago, a couple of weeks ago. Just a random person, again, sort of just showed up with an insanely cool card. And because I had been back in the swing of things for a couple of weeks now, I jumped on it immediately and reached out to the person who posted it to find out whether it was available. And it turns out that it was, that he had come into the group specifically to kick the tires on this card. And when I saw it, I could hardly believe my eyes. It was another card from this gorgeous set, not the exact card from Worth Point that I've long been seeking, but yet another card from that set. They're incredibly hard to come by. You will see, for those of you who haven't seen an earlier video or aren't familiar with 2006 Finest, that actually these cards are incredibly difficult by design to get. And the reason, well, first of all, is because they're numbered out of 2. So there's only 2 copies of each of these autographs. And, you know, I have mixed feelings about the HGA slab, but for me, the key was to make sure that this card was as beautiful as I was hoping it would be. And the one concern I had about this card was that the autograph wasn't as pure and true as I would like it to be. And as I'm looking at it now with my naked eye, I'm very happy with it, but I will note that it is a little bit streaky. You can't probably even tell that it's a little bit streaky, but if you compare it to the sort of the boldness of this ink right here, where there's just no streaking at all, it's just solid and thick all the way through. This ink, upon magnification, I think you'll see that maybe the ink is a little bit lighter than it is here. This is bluer. This is a little bit more faded, as I was worried about. And it's a little bit streakier. But overall, it is still an incredibly beautiful card. And just look at that picture. Goodness gracious. This is the second best home run swing picture, I think. Second or third in the set. The one where he wins the 1996 Home Run Derby, the card that commemorates that moment, has a very, very beautiful swing, and then there's another one as well. But this is God, this picture is amazing, and the card is so beautiful. This is an HGA slab. It's my first one. The fact that I was a little bit concerned about the autograph, but that HGA gave the autograph a 10, sort of made me a little bit more comfortable with picking up the card. I think you should always trust your eyes and your instincts. And if you think that a card is lacking in some way or that worries you in some way, you should listen to that little voice in your head. And this card is not as bold. The autograph is not as bold as I would like. It is not perfect and pristine every way, the way that it's signed, but it's still very, very nice. And I don't know if he used a different marker to sign this card here. But the blue is just a different hue. This one looks like it was signed, it looks like it was signed yesterday, right? Whereas this one looks like it was signed in 2006 and sat in a collection for a while. But I'm going to take an even closer look. If you can see right there was a place that I was concerned about. It looked like the marker was kind of running out of ink there. So I'm happy with this card. The streaks and the sort of not the boldest ink signature I've ever seen from Barry Bonds concern me. And I'm obsessing about it now, right now with you guys here. But I don't think most people will complain about an autograph that looks like this. It's just that I've gotten spoiled by autographs that look like this, right? This is perfect. I wish every autograph of every player was this clean. It looks like he just opened a brand new pen. Whereas this one looks like, I don't know, the pen is on its last legs. And, maybe it's just been sitting out in a collection for a little bit longer. Regardless, I thought that the subgrades here told me a lot about how this card would actually look in person. The surface is actually in better condition than I expected it to look, just because I've seen this raw one up close, and there's just a lot of surface scuffs on the back because it's deckled edged. There's some lifting on that card over there. Here, I think it's a lot cleaner. So I'm very, very pleased with this card. The the autograph is maybe not the best autograph I've ever seen in my life from Bonds, but that's because I've just been getting 3 or 4 of the cleanest, boldest, smoothest, least streaky Bonds autographs that money can buy. Um, but this autograph is not faded. It's just not. It doesn't look like it was signed yesterday. But look at that shine. Look at how beautiful this card is. These, semi-ridges, they don't do cards justice. Cannot wait to get this back in a slab so that I can enjoy it like that. As this card is spectacular. I don't know. What do you guys think about the quality of the ink? I want to get a closer scan and do a huge magnification and do a side-by-side comparison. I would feel better if he used an entirely different pen here. If this were the same color as this at one point, and this is just what it looks like, after it's faded or been in the sun a while, then I'd be disappointed. If it was just a different pen and just looked different and just had a different texture to it, this looks like a whiteboard pen, right? This looks like the type of marker you would use on a whiteboard and then wipe right off. It looks that sort of wet and bold, whereas this one just looks like a conventional marker. But my fears that it was not a 10 worthy autograph, probably a Lade. It's probably just fine. So very cool to add now a second card. Lucky just to have even one card from this collection. Still looking for that one card that celebrates the 1996 Home Run Derby win by Bonds over McGwire. But this picture is above reproach. The picture is absolutely sick. Both of these pictures are. So that's a huge addition to the collection. Very pleased. And so thank you for watching, guys. I'm going to try to cut this video down a little bit so it's not as slow, so I'm not gushing quite as much. But that's it for now. I have some other cards that came in, but I don't know if I want to open it in the same video, just because I feel like some of these cards, they deserve their own video. So thanks a lot, and until next time.